Hi, welcome back to I Create For You. We're going to do another story in the Civil War Ghost Stories book, and it's called The Ghosts of Murfreesboro. After Shiloh, the war in the West resembled two distinct campaigns. One fought for control of the Mississippi, and the other, which was probably of less strategic importance, for control of Tennessee. While Nashville had been occupied by Buell's Army of the Ohio as it marched on Shiloh, the country was far from secure. Consequently, Buell marched east from Corinth toward Chattanooga, hoping to sever Confederate rail links with the eastern half of the state. Over to the west, Confederate General Smith marched north from Knoxville, Tennessee, to challenge Union control of Kentucky, while General Bragg marched north from Chattanooga in support of Smith. The two armed armies joined forces at Perryville in October, just in time for Buell to appear and force them to battle. Bragg lost the fight and led his combined army back to Knoxville. He tried again, this time striking toward Nashville. By then, Buell had been replaced by Rosecrans, and the force had been renamed the Army of the Cumberland. Rosecrans marched to stop the Confederate drive, and this time Bragg's Army of the Tennessee and Rosecrans' Army of the Cumberland clashed outside Murfreesboro. Boy, these names of these armies and everything are crazy. Okay, the Battle of Murfreesboro, also known as the Battle of Stones River, was a two-round affair that began on December 13, 1862, when Bragg launched an all-out attack on Rosecrans' line a few miles northwest of the town itself. At first, the attack went well, with Hardee's division driving in the Union flank and causing half the Union army to flee in panic. It was like a door swinging on its hinge, and the Union line was turned around 90 degrees to form a right angle. Somehow Rosecrans rallied his men, and a new line was formed, buying time for troops to be moved to the most threatened sectors of the battlefield. Despite the stiffening resistance, the Confederate attacks continued, Bragg throwing men away in an attempt to break the reformed Union line and regain victory that had been within his grasp. As night fell, the battle drew to a close, and both sides pulled back slightly and dug in. The fighting was renewed 2 days later, after a shocked lull that lasted all of New Year's Day, when both sides gathered their wounded from the field and tried to reorganize their shattered units. On the morning of January 2nd, 1863, Bragg launched General Breckinridge's division in an assault across Stones River, which fell upon the weakly held Union right wing. It was a bad blunder, as the Confederates were exposed to massed artillery fire as they waded the freezing river, and the Rosecrans had time to reinforce his line. The assault was stopped, and then a Union counterattack drove Breckinridge back across the river. Unable to make any impression on the strengthened Union position, Bragg ordered a retreat, and the army pulled back 30 miles. For the next 6 months, the two armies remained facing each other without either commander making a move, and Bragg became the most castigated general in the Confederacy. His men quipped that it didn't matter if he won or lost, he would still retreat after a battle. Fortunately, the Army of the Cumberland was even more battered than the Confederate force, and at least Bragg had bought time for the ailing Confederate cause. Murfreesboro proved costly in terms of human lives for a battle with little strategic gain. Both sides lost around 9,000 men, killed, wounded, or missing, during the 2 days of fighting, and eyewitnesses describe how the bodies lay so close to each other that one could walk for a mile on them without touching the blood-caked frozen ground. Inevitably, for a place that saw so many young men killed, the years that followed produced several instances where the ghosts of soldiers came back to haunt the living. Today, the Murfreesboro National Battlefield Park on the western edge of the city provides the visitors with the opportunity to visit the principal sites of the battle, with walking and driving tours covering the contested ground. One of the more popular stops on the tour is Slaughter Pen, where the center of the Union line held its ground and provided an anchoring port for the broken right wing of the Army. The section of the Union line held by General Sheridan's division formed the new apex of the Union line, and it soon became the target of a series of fierce but ultimately unsuccessful Confederate attacks. Although the defenders were driven back almost a half mile and Sheridan lost a third of his division, the line held firm. At times the men fought hand to hand, using bayonets, knives, and even teeth. It was a brutal affair and a costly one, earning that patch of the wooded ground the name Slaughter Pen. Some visitors to the site often report a stillness in the air, as if the ground is somehow hallowed and special. Sometimes a complete silence in the woods seems to descend, the sounds of traffic or activity in the background fading away, leaving visitors with a growing sense of foreboding. Park rangers also have noticed that it often seems much colder around Slaughter Pen than elsewhere on the battlefield. Some reenactors who have spent the night camped on the site of Slaughter Pen have reported that they felt they were not alone, and that the spirits of the dead were watching them. A few of these modern reenactors went further, claiming to have seen the figure of a soldier on the periphery of their living history encampment, or just outside the circle of light cast by their campfire. Other visitors have also described encounters with the mysterious figure, almost always accompanied by the same feeling that something not quite human is close by. He has been seen standing in the trees or even within plain view in the open, as if wanting to join the living but unable to do so. If anyone calls out to him or tries to approach him, the figure disappears. A few felt they were being followed and heard the sounds of movement behind them. When they turned around, there was nobody there. Reenactors who have camped in the area at night have also mentioned seeing bluish lights moving through the trees, seeming to wax and wane for a few seconds or even minutes before fading away completely. While some of this could be explained away by the heightened awareness of modern civil war, for reenactors in a place that has been so much that has seen so much bloodshed, the uneasy feeling remains that something or someone might be out there, still haunting the trees around Slaughter Pen and attracted by the sense of lost comradeship and the reenactors seem to offer them. In 1978, the ghost story writer Richard Weiner interviewed Jeffrey Leathers, a park ranger who often participated in reenactment events at Murfreesboro and other battlefields. According to the account, Mr. Leathers was camping on the battlefield with the other reenactors near McFadden's Ford, where Breckinridge's attack was launched on January 2, 1862. Leathers woke up in the middle of the night, and discovering he was thirsty, he collected his reproduction canteen, rose, and walked towards the Park Service Administration's building a half-mile away, where he planned to fill it. He noticed someone hiding in the bushes beside the path, and thinking he was a fellow reenactor planning to surprise him, Leathers called out to the figure to show himself. Both Leathers and the figure were in period costume, and as the man rose from hiding and approached him with one palm raised as a token of surrender, Leathers thought he was play acting. He called out to the man to halt. then raised his musket and pointed it at the stranger, just like a real sentry would have done. The man dropped to the ground, then seemed to vanish in the dark shadows. Still thinking a trick was being played on him, Leathers explored the bushes but found no sign of the man. The next morning he returned to the spot, but apart from his own footprints, he found no trace of the soldier he had challenged the night before. He then began to remember hearing of the ghostly figures of soldiers prowling the battlefield and hovering around reenactors. Could he have been duped by a fellow reenactor, or was the man he encountered the ghost of a Civil War soldier, confused by the familiar sights the reenactors conjured up for him, and was trying to find a way to join the men he presumed were his long-lost comrades? Well, that was sad, you know. And he actually thought he got shot again, I guess. Sorry for all the blundering. Man, that was a mess of a story for me. Some of those names of places and the armies and the units and everything. Holy moly. Anywho, I'm going to try to draw what I would think, because there are so many that had passed, lost their lives in battle. They even said how you could walk a mile and not touch the ground on the just walking on the bodies of how many people had passed. That is crazy, and sad at the same time. It seems to me, and it's just me, I'm not really a Civil War buff, but because this was a ghost story book, that's why I thought it would be a little bit interesting, and I might learn some things. It seems to me that there was a lot of changing of the people in charge. Now, I don't know if that a lot of it has to do with them losing their lives in battle, or just a lot of egos, or something along the line, or some not being as good a leader as they should have been. So I'm going to try to draw, like I was trying to say. There has been a lot of, I'm going to bring you down to the paper a little bit. There has been a lot of lost lives. So I'm going to make it multiple, almost as if it was a whole line of men who were in this forest, okay, and they are like coming at you, so to speak. And we're going to make it like a little forest area here. I'm going to do the trees up here. Okay. I'll just maybe do a few more best that I can here. Gotta make some spooky trees, huh? We'll make some on this side, because we're going to make it like a battle area. So I want to make a few. I'll make it at least look like a forest area. Man, my pencil is not cooperating with me tonight. Oh, and I have to get myself a new sharpener. My husband has decided he's going to, get into his art again, and he's a little heavy-handed, so I went through like, I don't know, 3 sharpeners already. So now, like, all my sharpeners, all they want to do is like chew on my pencils, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have any pencils anymore. What am I gonna do? I have to hope that I can get them all fixed and sharpened. Just gonna make a little. Okay, so there's our forest, the best that I could do there. And now I'm going to like kind of this is what I do, because then I bring in my magic later and it kind of covers everything. It makes it look spookier, so I'm going to make that as the up top here a little bit, and then I'm going to make the people. I'm just going to do it this way. I hope I'm not shaking you guys so much. Okay, so we got the background there, and I'm going to try to draw some people coming through the forest. Now, of course, because these are apparitions, they're not going to be the most perfect, but you can tell that they're people, at least. Give them a little bit of form there. Oh, look at that. Now how am I going to sharpen it? I've got some, look at my little nubbies, because now the last sharpener that I have that works, it just wants to eat the pencils. Oh, so horrible. Such a sad thing, isn't it? I'll work on it though. I had some ideas on. I had an electric one, and man, that one was awesome, and somehow that one got broke. It's just and I even splurged on that one. I might have gotten that one on Amazon. And that one was a good one. And somehow, some way, it just got ruined. I don't know if it fell on the floor or what happened, but yeah, it was not. I was not happy when I found that out, because because of it being electric, it was a lot quicker to sharpen, and I didn't have to worry about it chewing it. But I know that they have one now that is I saw some people have that actually is one where you put your pencil in, and it takes the pencil down in, sharpens it, and it comes back up. You don't have to do anything except just put it in there. It's like, what the heck? But I don't know how much that one is. I can only imagine how much it is. Talk about being lazy even with a pencil sharpener nowadays. The struggle is real back in the day, folks. Yep. The things we had to worry about, and now today everything's just so simple, even to the point of cars kind of this is going to be a gun here, cars parking themselves. I know that I remember back when I was going to take my test, I was like all worried about my parallel parking, and now they park themselves. What are you gonna do? Okay, now I'm just gonna do the magic part. I'm gonna make it misty. Gotta make it spooky. Gotta make it go over these guys. Now, see, when I did that, it makes it look like there are more in the background coming through. That's pretty awesome. We'll work with that. We'll make little figures in the back there. So it looks like there's more coming. And these are all in the front. That's awesome. Look at the things you can do with these magic blenders. I'm going to be doing a little more sketching. I got to get back into sketching. I feel like I'm out of practice. So I have some pictures that I might put up in a day or two. Mostly just animals. It's not spooky stuff, but I really get into that more around Halloween. But there we go. We've got our army of men coming through to where they battled in the spooky forest. I don't know if you can see all the trees and all the guys there with their... and the guys coming behind them. That worked out pretty good with that. Oh, I hope you liked that story. I'm sorry I bundled my way through that, and I suck at editing. I still haven't figured that out. So what you see is what you get, and I apologize for that. I will try to get better at that. But in the meantime, we'll muddle through what we can do. And like I said, a lot of that has to do with me not really reading the story through before, and maybe I should start doing that so I can get a better grasp of what's coming ahead of me and practice on some of them terms. I hope you liked it. Very interesting, very different, very sad all at the same time. And I'm pretty sure the rest of them aren't going to be any more joyful, but we can only hope, right? There's got to be at least one good one. There is at least one good one in every book so far. A little a better storyline. But in this book, I'm not too sure because this is a war story book. Please give me a thumbs up if you like the content. Subscribe if you haven't. We have plenty more and plenty different things. And we got Whatever Wednesday coming up in 2 days. And comment if you'd like to. I'd like to hear what you have to say about the stories. And I wish you guys the best in your health, in your life situations, and hopefully this year will be a better one for those who struggled last year. I know I did, but you can only hope. You can only hope. Like they always say, it can't get any worse, right? And I may have jinxed it by saying that, but hey, I've been through so much crap. Anything you throw at me anymore, I wouldn't be surprised about. And I'll just trudge right through it and see what else I can come up with and solutions and make it through like we all will. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye for now. Thank you so much for stopping by.